whether or not pastors should be paid. This is a question. Now, our church doesn't particularly have any qualms about this. Our church hired me to come and pastor this church almost 7 years ago now, and I don't think this is probably controversial, but there are lots of people in our culture today. In fact, there's a growing movement of people who object to pastors being paid at all. Well, so usually the argument might be made that, well, Paul was bivocational. They think that all pastors should be bivocational. And, Paul was bivocational. Paul made tents, and in a certain specific cultural context and a specific church context, Paul made the decision that he was not going to accept pay from a certain church for a ministry purpose. And some people say that should be the norm. Does that answer your question? I don't agree with that. I think that you sacrifice a lot in a church to have that. And so obviously our church doesn't hold that view. Some people want pastors to essentially live in poverty. And that's what gets a little bit more. So it's what gets sticky and the temperature starts to rise in a room. Most folks can agree, like, well, yeah, okay, so pastors should be paid. Now, you ask the question, well, how much should pastors be paid? And all of a sudden the room goes real quiet because nobody knows what to say. And on this, there's kind of two errors. You'll hear this a lot from me. I think that all of life can be summed up largely, not exclusively, but largely as trying not to fall into a ditch on either side of the road. I think that's normally the case. You can err in lots of different ways, at least two different ways in almost any situation. You can err in multiple directions. The other way to err with paying pastors is that some people, they go overboard in paying pastors to such a degree, and honestly, it grieves me. There are pastors who purchase, $18 million mansions. And I just, I don't know where to draw a line exactly. I confess to you, I don't know exactly how to draw a line. But I think that's over it. Or there's a whole social media account. I don't have social media anymore, but before I quit social media, there's an account on social media called Preachers in Sneakers. And an account is all about outing pastors who wear crazy expensive shoes. It's like a funny thing. But literally, so people who know shoe model, is it a model of shoe? Is that what you call it? Well, brand, yes, but the actual shoe. Style, whatever, it doesn't matter. So they would out these people, and they'd say, look, this pastor, and they'd post, here's that shoe that they're wearing. And this is a $12,000 pair of shoes. And you're like, whoa, my shoes are $30 tops at Costco. And I can't even, so you could go, again, either way. It's like, no, don't pay pastors at all. Pastors should live in poverty, or, $12,000. And I would hope we could find a wise thing somewhere in the middle, yes?